how much is Luka Dončić worth?
I don't know that you can put a price tag on it. Honestly, the value that he brings to the franchise, to the NBA, to this organization, it's immeasurable. His marketability, like people from all over the world come to watch him play because of what he means to the NBA and the basketball. It's an honor because I feel like we're going to be champions, and it will be because of Luka. So
we're all just reaching here, trying to make sense of this mess. Only in the NBA does Luka get shipped out before Zion for being out of shape. And how you gotta call him injury-prone. Then trade him for a guy who's even worse off, 6 years older, and breaking down faster.
That's their decision, so I have no comment on that. They made the decision. I don't know why.
Luka Dončić wasn't just traded, he was betrayed by the Dallas Mavericks. Now, let's break this down logically, based on what we know. When Mark Cuban took over the Mavs in 2000, Dirk Nowitzki wasn't even the clear face of the franchise. This was a team with 0 championships, yet they stood by a little-known Nowitzki. He didn't even make his first All-Star team until he was 24. Fast forward 25 years, and the new Dallas owners give up on a 25-year-old, 5-time All-Star who just carried them to the NBA Finals? That's not just about new ownership. It's about how much the game has changed. This wasn't just a trade. It was a betrayal of Luka and everything the Mavericks used to stand for. From Dirk to Luka, they had their franchise icons. Now, they've thrown it all away. Luka was supposed to be that guy, the one who retires in Dallas because he loved this city.
Spoštoval je celo mesto Dallas, pomagal je in otrokom, ni mu bil problem hoditi in po bolnicah in po, sirotišnicah in po te dobrodelne stvari.
Luka Dončić and his father, Sasa, built something special in Dallas. This is a little family competition. My wife, our son, and me. The winner gets chocolate or cake, right, Luka? But I'll never force him to play basketball. That bond extended beyond just family. It was Luka's connection to the city itself. Dallas had something real with him. But the way they snaked him out? Heartbreaking. They acted like building around a superstar wasn't the whole point. Dirk Nowitzki proved you could win championships that way. They lucked into landing Dirk 2.0, and Luka was all in on Dallas. Yet somehow, they still blew it.
I find it extremely disrespectful. I find it horrific bad business for you just to go and do this. And I'm also not buying that J. Kidd just didn't know. I know you have to keep it in-house. I know you have to keep it close to tight, especially nowadays with social media, and Sham somehow gets in there and finds everything out. But I just think this is bad business when you draft this guy, this dude just bought a $15 million house, just closed like last week in Dallas. Apparently he cried like when he found out. And this is your everything who took you to the conference finals last year. I just find it extreme BS.
Luka Dončić was ready to commit to Dallas for the long haul. The Mavs? They didn't even give him a heads up. He was the face of the franchise, the heartbeat of the city's fans. Yet he had 0 stay in his own trade. Reports say he was in tears when he found out. He even posted the missed calls from Nico Harrison after it was already done. This wasn't just disrespect, it was flat-out disloyalty. They didn't even have the decency to talk to the guy who carried them for years. This isn't just business. When you blindside your MVP, it's personal.
Hard because everybody knows it's a business and everybody uses that excuse. And I always tell myself, he just got transferred to another department, right? Just got transferred to another office, still in the NBA, but it trades an admission that you need something or you did something wrong.
If anyone's still unsure whether the Mavs messed up, just look around. Fans are furious, demanding refunds. And on his debut, Dallas is already getting the full AD experience. Dominant two-way play, then a no-contact injury. The whole thing reeks of disrespect for Luka. No heads up, no courtesy. Just a trade that shattered everything. This isn't how you treat a superstar, especially one who just took you to the finals and still has years left to bring home a title. What makes this trade even worse? The Mavericks don't have a long list of franchise players. They aren't the Lakers, pulling superstars every decade. They had Dirk, then Luka, and now they threw that away. Luka isn't just another all-star, he's a magnet for talent. Kyrie Irving came to play with Luka, and after a slow start, they built a clutch chemistry. They were supposed to take it further with Klay Thompson. Another slow start, no big deal. If Dallas could reach the finals last season, why doubt them now? So why trade? And why AD? Well, according to Nico Harrison, AD has some chemistry with Jason Kidd. Except Kidd didn't even know about it.
The kid didn't know about it.
But J. Kidd and I are aligned, and we talk about archetypes, and we talk about the culture that we want to create. So I know the type of players that he likes without actually talking to him. Hey.
Well, from the look on Coach Kidd's face, he should have called first before concluding.
From the look on Coach Kidd's face, maybe someone should have called him first before making this move. And that's another issue. Why keep this trade under wraps instead of shopping for a better deal? Why settle for an injury-prone player who's got, 4 or 5 good years left? Imagine if the Mavs had traded Dirk in 2006, right after he led them to their first NBA Finals. Now imagine they traded him for an injury-prone superstar. Dallas would probably still be chasing their first ring. They claimed to be in win-now mode, thinking AD was the missing piece. But here's the reality. Luka was already doing that. He just took them to the finals. And he's not even in his prime. Luka could have been the face of the Mavs for the next decade, not just one season. As for those conditioning concerns, why not handle them internally? Luka's a competitor. He would have responded to tough love, a strict diet, or a structured training plan. Instead of coaching him up, they just gave up. Now, the damage is done, and Luka's already looking right at home in LA.
I gotta get worked up. Hey, go.
Luka had friends in Dallas, but he and Kyrie, that was something special. They were electric, unmatched chemistry you can't just buy. Luka with his magic, Kyrie with his clutch gene, a duo built for basketball heaven. But when Luka landed in LA, Dodo was already waiting. For Mavs fans, this isn't just a loss. It's a gut punch. They've only had a handful of true legends. Aguirre, Dirk, Luka. Losing one of them, it's like ripping out a piece of the franchise's soul. Meanwhile, the Lakers just pulled off another heist. There was even talk of Luka and Dorian Finney-Smith reuniting in LA. But the Mavs front office had other plans. They could have kept some of that homegrown core, but instead, they went another direction. Nico Harrison says this move puts them in a better position for a second championship. But if this trade tells us anything, it's that Dallas is betting against Luka. They're hoping he fails in LA. That he lets himself go turns into another Zion situation. But if there's one thing about Luka, he lives to shut people up.
So it's a motive. I know it's not true. I know, but it's a motive. Like I said, I came here, one of the biggest clubs in history of sports, so it's a big motive for a long run.
Dallas fans saw Luka Dončić as the next great chapter in a franchise's history. He was expected to surpass Dirk Nowitzki's legacy. All he needed was an owner like Mark Cuban. But the Adelson family? They're in the gambling business, and they've placed their bet. Circle the date, February 25. That's when the Mavs come to LA. Will Dallas prove Nico Harrison right and dominate the Lakers? Or will Luka go full vendetta mode, just like he did against the Hawks in that 73-point massacre? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this trade breakdown, check out our video on what NBA legends are saying about Luka Dončić.